Hey guys, welcome to Loose Watercolor Painting, kind of. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I learned about myself recently. I went to my first sketching group meetup, a group that posts meetings online. You sign up and you go and you meet with them in a mall or food court or some other public place, and we sketch together and chat, and it's like a blind date of friends, I guess. And I went to one, and the only person who was there was the host, and it was okay. It wasn't exactly what I was aiming for, but it was definitely a nice first step into getting into larger groups, which may or may not have an established clique about them. So it was just me and this other person. We drew in our sketchbooks for like an hour or so. Normally I would describe myself as someone who is really reserved, doesn't really talk much. If I'm in a group, I will usually sit back and observe the conversation and not really be part of it. I will never really introduce myself to strangers. If I'm at an art show, I usually just stand around awkwardly and then leave as soon as I feel like it's appropriate to do so. And I don't meet anyone, and it sucks, and it's really sets me back a lot, I think. And so when I was at this meetup, I was doing okay. Like, I was feeling kind of tense because you're talking to a stranger who, is probably in a different stage of life than I am, might come from a completely different background than I do. I don't know what her beliefs are. Like, I don't really know what is, safe topics of conversation and what's not. Like, when you meet somebody, it's awkward and it's nerve-wracking and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, I talked pretty much the whole time. And, so did she. Like, we had an ongoing conversation. It wasn't really until afterward that I realized how strange that is. And maybe it was just the thrill of starting from nothing, from a blank slate. This person has never met me, doesn't know anything that I'm doing, but we are also getting together over a hobby that I know quite a lot about, and I have a whole lot of things going on that I can talk about. And the thing about shy people is that they're only shy most of the time, but if you find something that they have interest in, they will talk forever. Maybe a little awkwardly, but they will talk forever. You just need to find out what that thing is, and maybe this is just my thing, but I think actually a lot of it might be just because of vlogging, recording audio like this. When I first started vlogging and doing voiceovers, it was really, really painful. Like, I still have issues with talking too slow and having gaps, and because my brain doesn't really keep up with my mouth, so there's a lot of editing involved. But I feel like it does deserve a lot of credit in my possibly newfound ability to talk with a stranger about something that I'm interested in. And I just wanted to mention that in case there's somebody out there who is suddenly having to do a bunch of meeting with people and talking with people and doesn't really know how to improve. You can try vlogging, videotaping yourself, recording yourself talking to an imaginary person, and it's just all a form of practice, right? And I'm not really sure if that's something that I mentioned the last time I did a How is Vlogging Going update. I'm pretty sure I have one out there where I talk about how vlogging changed my life and what it's done for me. And this is something that I just maybe picked up on. Like, maybe vlogging was the reason why I'm able to go to a meetup with strangers and carry my own end of the conversation. I don't know. But a lot of it also has to do with how well you know your topic of conversation. So anyway, about this artwork, on Patreon we're doing loose watercolor painting, and for man-made structures like this, I did start with a pre-sketch of that just to make sure it looks okay and not wobbly wobbly. Because with natural growth and trees and stuff, you can kind of get away with a lot, but with a thing like stairs, if I mess up on the perspective super badly or paint over something that I shouldn't have, it might make it look a little strange and unidentifiable. So I did start with the sketch with the stairs, but everything else I just kind of went with it. I am working from a photo reference, and I did not follow it religiously, just generally. And I did some negative painting, adding some shadows. I have cooler colors in the background and warmer colors in the front because that's generally how our vision works in real life. And it helps to add some depth that way. But the whole purpose of this exercise is to gain confidence, I guess. Also to pick out things that might be worthy of focus and things that can just blend into the background. Because I do notice with myself, if I'm painting something kind of complicated, I tend to get overwhelmed, and then the whole image gets kind of overwhelming for anyone who's looking at it as well. And so there's definitely a skill in picking out things that are important and ignoring things that are less important. And so in this practice, I am choosing things that are important, such as the stairs that are leading the viewer down a path, the colors that contribute to depth, the lines of the tree trunks going through the forest. And everything else is just delegated to general vague shapes. And even though they are general vague shapes, you will notice at the end that it all kind of comes together to create a scene. And your brain fills a lot of gaps that are missing. And so even though it doesn't look realistic, even though I'm missing a lot of details, you can still tell that the ferns are ferns, and you can tell that the lines are tree trunks, and you can tell that the ground is ground. And I really like how it turned out, and it takes a very short time relatively, and I'm really happy with the way it worked out. And so this is what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks, and I'm really enjoying it. And if you wanted to see more images like this, and if you wanted to try it out for yourself, you can come join us over on Patreon. It's kind of like an online meetup with people who get together on similar interests and sketch together. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.